Pay attention, get your notebooks out, because in this video, I am going to breaking down the 12 habits of millionaires. These are the habits that help make me a multi-millionaire, and I have a lot of fucking super rich friends. You know, me and the homies, we be courtside at the Heat games. We balling, shot calling. My friends own yachts and shit. All my friends got a supercar, and here are the 12 habits that they all have in common. And the last habit is the most important. Without the last one, it's going to be difficult to succeed even if you do everything right. The first one is time management. My boy Jeremy, he's super rich, right? He just bought a new McLaren, but he already has a Rolls Royce and a fucking Porsche and Range Rover. He's super rich. I have a big penthouse apartment. His balcony on his penthouse is bigger than my whole condo. It might be the biggest balcony in Miami, in a condo. Sometimes I'll hit him up like, yo, let's take the girls to dinner. Like his girl, me, him, and our girlfriends will go to dinner. And he'll be like, yo, what time? And then I'll say a time, boom. Next thing you know, he sends me a Google Calendar invite. This is fucking normal at the high levels. Pretty much every multi-millionaire I know really manages their time well. They live out of their calendar. How that works for me is I plan every hour of every day in my calendar. And this way the day is choreographed. As a result, if you start doing this, what's going to happen is you'll start to notice you get way more done in a day than you used to get. If you do that for 90 days, I promise you'll make more progress in those 90 days than you did the whole year before when you were just freestyling every day. But you understand this is what it's like at the high levels, right? People are serious about their calendars, right? And they're serious about their time management. I have a whole nother video on time management you could check out if you need to. The next habit is relentless positivity. No matter what's going on, they look for a way to make money off it. We kind of see the world through that lens. There's got to be a way we can make money off this. My homie Moneybird, he's probably one of my richest friends, right? When COVID hit, he immediately was telling me, all right, listen, this is what's happening. We're going to start shorting the market. And he was looking for money-making opportunities. He made a few million the first week of COVID when shit started shutting down. Then he bought even more stocks and he found ways to make money off it. So no matter how bad shit is, they're always looking as a way to benefit from it. They never get too down or depressed. And what happens is, if you're looking for ways a situation can benefit you, you'll find it. If you're focusing on how bad things is, it's kind of like when you or one of your friends gets a new car, you start seeing that car everywhere, right? You're not an X-Man. You didn't attract that shit. You ain't Professor Xavier, right? That car was already there. You just didn't notice it because you wasn't looking for it anymore. It wasn't in your attention. It's the same thing with positivity. If you're looking for ways to get money, you'll find them. They're there. But if you're looking at, complaining about how bad shit is, then you'll find that too. And what I notice is all my rich friends, we all think like that. And if somebody's negative, they're just not really in our circle. You get what I'm saying? And I wouldn't want them in our circle, because if my friend gets a new car and I start seeing that car everywhere, right? What happens if he's always bringing me his fucking problems and shit? What am I going to see? I'm going to see problems as well. But if he's always talking about how to get some money, I'm going to see that too, just like the car. The next key is they live below their means. My friends are balling. Motherfuckers got yachts, boats. Some of them got planes. My homie Eric Spofford got a fucking plane. While he was getting money, he wasn't fucking wasting it on luxuries, right? He bought his plane after he sold his company for over $100 million. He's built a big company, sold it for $100 million. Then he bought the plane and the yacht and shit. So you want to live below your means and keep investing that money into either your business or real estate or stocks. And then you start flexing off the money you get from the assets, right? That's the key to getting rich. You got to make more money you spend, invest the difference. And then you flex with the money that the investments are making. The money that you work to make, that's like a seed, right? Instead of eating the fucking seed, you plant that seed in the ground. And then when it grows into a tree, starts bearing fruits, then you eat the fruits. They all live below their means, and they flex with money that comes from the assets. Even me, like if you watch me on YouTube over the last fucking 14 years I've been on YouTube, I was not flexing. I was wearing a fucking Apple Watch and fucking some regular shit, no shirt for years. And it wasn't until my money from my assets started making enough money for the luxuries, then I started buying APs, Richard Milles, diamond chains, and all that other shit. That's when I started upgrading my lifestyle, moved to Miami, big fucking penthouse condo, all that shit. But before that, living below my means, investing the money. And the other thing to do that is track spending. All my rich friends take their accounting seriously. They don't fuck around with it. They know how much they're spending. They even have a budget. Even the ones that look like they're fucking flexing, they have a budget for flexing, and they track their spending. They know exactly how much is coming out, especially in their business. If they're rich, then they're really tracking the money in their business too, right? Most of us do the accounting for our business. We might have an accountant verified or a CPA, right? But we're handling the day-to-day, moving the money around and managing it, right? So you got to track your spending, know your accounting. You have to know your numbers. If you ever watch Shark Tank, after they do their wacky presentation, they tell some bad jokes. The shit don't really start until Mr. Wonderful says, yeah, man, tell us about the numbers. How much money you making? What's your cost for acquiring a customer? What are your margins? If you ever watch Shark Tank and they don't know their numbers, know that motherfucker's not getting the deal. They're going to get laughed out the Shark Tank. Or if the numbers are bad, you got to know your numbers. Track your spending, do the accounting. You got to know your numbers. Next thing you do is investing. All my rich friends invest. They're either constantly investing in their business or they're buying fucking stocks, real estate, and or crypto. And we talk about investing. We giving each other investment tips, advice, because the investments is what's going to pay for the luxury, right? So they're serious about their investment. You got to learn how to invest. The next habit that all my rich friends do is they delegate. My boy, Dan Martell, he's one of my other super rich friends. He's become a pretty popular YouTuber over the last year or two. When I met him, he had like fucking 10,000 YouTube subscribers. Now he's got like close to 1 million or so, right? But anyway, he wrote a book called Buy Back Your Time. And he was saying the same shit that people made fun of me for saying. It was like, yo, man, I don't fucking cook. I don't clean. I don't do all that other shit. Even when I was broke, I would delegate that shit and pay other people to do it because they bought me what? Time. And with that time, me personally, I want to spend all my time making money or hanging out with my friends and family. So I need to buy my time and you need to delegate that shit. So, boom, the housekeeper, fucking team of immigrants comes and clean the house every week. You know what I'm saying? Fucking balcony cleaners come clean the balconies. We got 4 balconies. They clean the windows. Like I take it to another level. I don't even book my own flights. I got assistants to do that shit. They know what to do. Even when I was just first starting out, I would go on when I was working a lot and I needed more time to work. I looked at how much money I was making and I looked at how much it cost to get somebody off TaskRabbit to clean my house. I was like, if I spend that time working, for example, let's say I typically make $100 an hour, right? If I pay somebody $50 to clean my house, that means the net profit, if I work during that hour instead of clean, I make $50. If you're cheap, you'd be like, oh, I'll just do it myself. I'm not going to pay someone to do it. But you don't save $50 under those circumstances. You lose $50 because you could have worked and made $100 and you would have had a net profit of $50. It's really just mad. That's why it's important to know your numbers so you know what to delegate, right? The first videos I made on YouTube, I edited the first 1,000 videos, but it was time consuming. And even though I started to enjoy it, I still hired, the first person I hired was Harry, because I wanted to buy back that time. Even though I enjoyed it, I was like, man, I can make more money if I spend my time doing something else. And Harry edited the videos. Now we have Harry and Nima full-time editors and they have teams and shit. And I can spend the time doing that and I make more money as a result, even though I have to pay them a lot of money. You got to be able to delegate. The next habit of all my millionaire friends is they have multiple streams of income. Now here's the caveat. I know you heard that most millionaires have like 7 streams of income or some shit like that. Here's the thing. They got rich with one. They made most of their money with one stream of income and then they started to diversify. When I was starting my business, I wasn't fucking investing in crypto and stocks and real estate and all this other shit simultaneously because business is hard. 80% of businesses fail. Less than 5% of businesses make it to $1 million mark. It took everything to make my first $1 million in business. I didn't have the bandwidth, the energy or time to mental or financial resources. Statistically, starting a successful business is one of the most difficult things in the world. Only 7% of the population are millionaires, right? Statistically, the odds are not in your favor, so I had to devote everything to it. But once I started getting some money, then I started diversifying my income and investing in other things, right? My first one was my online fitness business. That was my first business that I made $1 million with. Now I teach other people how to start their online fitness business. If you want to learn more about that, I got a free ebook called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. You can click the link in the description and download it for free. It'll give you the game plan and see if it's right for you, because you might read it and be like, oh, this is not right for me. Or you might read it and be like, oh, this is awesome. All right. But at least check out the book. It's free. The next habit of multi-millionaires is long-term planning. All my rich friends, they have like a long-term plan. They're thinking like 5-10 years out with their investments, with their game plan. I mean, we want to make money as fast as possible, but we're thinking long-term. Typically, when you take long-term decisions, those are almost always better than short-term decisions. Things that feel good short-term are usually bad for you long-term, and vice versa. For example, if you eating candy and cakes, it feels great in the moment, but long-term is going to have negative ramifications. That's just one example. However, eating motherfucking vegetables and shit may suck in the moment, right? Until you acquire the taste for them. But long-term is going to be good for your health. Same shit with your financial health, right? Delaying gratification may suck short-term, but long-term is better for you, right? The next habit of all my millionaire friends is networking. Now, here's the caveat. You've all heard that your network is your net worth. It only matters once you got it popping, right? A lot of times broke boys be trying to fucking network and like, yo, man, you ain't got shit to offer, broke boy. Fuck you want to network for? You don't want to network. You want to siphon fucking value from motherfuckers who got it popping. Networking is only valuable once you got it popping. And once you have shit popping, then you can actually add value to the people you network with. And now it's mutually advantageous. That's when networking works. If you just out here trying to siphon fucking value from motherfuckers who got it popping, it's not going to work. Like, why the fuck should they help you or fuck with you, right? Ain't nobody out here doing charity. If you got something to offer, right? If you have some value that you can present, then they'll be excited to network with you. You can get it popping on your own. You can get your business or to $100,000 a year on your own, right? And then you can start networking with people on your level. And as you move up, you can start networking with people like slightly above. And it's valuable. It is valuable, but it's only valuable after you kind of got it popping. The next habit all my friends have is they take risk. But here's the thing. They're calculated risks. They're not out here fucking gunslinging, just doing anything. So for example, I have a formula I use to take risks. First, I think about what's the worst that can happen. I don't try to sugarcoat it. If anything, I try to make it worse. What's the worst possible outcome it is? And I think about that. Like, if everything went wrong, what would that look like? And then I ask myself, can I handle that? Sometimes the answer is no. And I'm like, all right, too big of a risk. I don't want to take it. If the answer is yes, then I'm probably going to take it. It may seem like I'm taking big risks, but they're so calculated. And then I ask myself a third question. If I decide I can't handle it, what can I do to either prevent the worst that can happen or mitigate its effects if it does happen? And then I make a plan to do that. I built myself multiple safety nets. Once I went through that whole process, then I'm confident taking the risk, but I accept the risk. The last habit all my rich friends has is they're always learning. When we get together, we're suggesting fucking books and shit. We're joining different masterminds. I'm learning from them, or they're learning shit from me. They might ask me, oh man, how can I build my social media better? I was asking Moneybird for stock investments. I asked my boy, taught me about Section 8 real estate. I started investing in that. When I was running my own Facebook ads, I had my boy Jeremy coaching me and helping me with my ads, right? We learn from each other. We're also suggesting different books and different courses and different shit for each other as well. Especially when you have a bunch of high level friends, they become what I call friend tours. They're like your boys. They're probably better than you at something. And we form like Voltron and shit, or like Ninja Turtles. I may be Michelangelo with the nunchucks, right? But Jeremy, he Donatello. Tom, maybe he Raphael or some shit. Eric Spoffer, he might be motherfucking Donatello because he the richest one. We all value each other, right? And we can learn from each other, and it's dope. And you need to always be learning too. My first business where I made $1 million was online training. Now I teach other people how to start their online fitness business. If you want to learn how to do it, I got a free ebook, link in the description, called The 10 Commandments of Online Training. And it really give you the game plan to show you what it's like to be an online trainer. It's not a get rich quick scheme. If you find a get rich quick scheme, please let me know, because I've been looking for one for 40 years and I ain't found one, right? However, it's a good business for you to start if you love fitness, right? And if you love helping people accomplish your goals, because if you love it, it won't feel like work. Then you can make money doing something you love. And that's why I found it so rewarding. But if you are interested in all, just download the book, read it for free, and then decide if that's something that's for you or not. Maybe it won't be, right? But you should check it out. All right. Links in the description. All right.